Barbra Banda of Zambia. I was a professional boxer. I was only able to go in one direction. Hamilton's Obayuwana Osasu, the primary striker for the Copper Queens, who previously played in Spain and is currently in China, has seen difficult times with her nation. Barbra Banda established herself as a top-tier attacker at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, when she notched back-to-back hat tricks in Zambia's dramatic 4-4 draw with China and 10-3 loss to the Netherlands. The 23-year-old, though, had the option of choosing a different career route. Last weekend, she became the first player to captain her nation at a Senior World Cup. Banda turned professional after competing in more than 60 highly successful amateur boxing matches. In her 5 professional fights, she won 4 by knockout and 1 by decision. In order to accept a professional contract from the Spanish team EDF Logru for the 2018-19 season, Banda had to give up competitive boxing, which she was doing while also playing football. "I first went to a gym in Mutandere," she recalls, referring to Lusaka, the capital of Zambia. "At the age of 11, I was walking home from church with my mother when I noticed other people there receiving training. Even though I was a little afraid, I asked her if she could speak to the coaches to see if I might join them. My mother opposed it because she wanted me to focus on my studies." Thank you for joining us today, and be sure to subscribe to our channel for more exciting football action. However, I really persuaded her to speak with the coaches. It took me 2 weeks to learn the workouts before I started boxing. I am a quick study. I tried to balance both sports with my academic obligations. But when I signed my first professional football contract in Spain, I halted my professional boxing career. I could only go in one direction. Banda learned a lot about Spanish football while playing for Logru, where she scored 16 goals in 28 games. It was transformational to switch to the professional Spanish game. "It is highly powerful and fiercely competitive," she claims. "It was quite helpful to me." As a result, Banda received a lucrative transfer to Shanghai Shengli, her Chinese team, in January 2020. Her $300,000 transfer fee made her the 3rd most expensive female footballer of all time, according to reports. In her first season, she scored 18 goals, including 3 hat tricks. Banda was expected to lead the Copper Queens at the Women's Africa Cup of Nations WAFCON finals in July after her outstanding performance at the Tokyo Olympics. Her charismatic leadership and explosive force were seen as being essential to Zambia's ability to mount a respectable campaign against more experienced teams like Nigeria, Cameroon, and South Africa. However, Banda was surprised to learn that she did not adhere to the gender DSD differences in sex development standards established by the Confederation of African Football, CAF, prior to the competition. Its regulations stated that Banda was ineligible because her testosterone levels were allegedly higher than CAF's allowable range. She was one of 4 athletes that were rejected from the Zambian WAFCON team because they refused to receive hormone suppression therapy. Banda was accompanied to the competition by the Football Association of Zambia FAZ, but she was only permitted to watch from the stands because she was an official. It's like trying to get water out of a stone to get Banda to talk about the terrifying incident, which FAZ President Andrew Kamenga claimed was mentally damaging for her. "I'd prefer that you inquire about the wonderful deeds I perform for my nation, such as my volunteer work with young girls and boys," she says. That WAFCON has passed. Whatever occurred did. With FIFA's backing, I'm at the World Cup. Kamenga is more honest and feels that CAF abused Banda horribly. The rules for the CAF competition and the FIFA competition were distinct from one another. We ultimately filed an appeal against the CAF restrictions, so that this very sad and unfair incident won't happen again. We hope that the CAF would harmonize their rules with FIFA's. Zambia's showdown against Spain on Wednesday in Auckland will likely be remembered as the tournament's turning point after their 5-0 demolition of Japan in their opening World Cup match. Futoshi Ikeda, the coach of Japan, claimed that cutting off Banda's midfield supply was an essential component of his strategy since she was an explosive player and without it, she couldn't pose a threat to the 2011 world champions' defense. If the Copper Queens are to have a chance of moving on to the knockout stages, Banda is aware that they will need to display significantly greater tactical discipline and creativity. For us, Saturday was a difficult day. We were competing against the strongest squad in the world, but looking at Japan, we are not underestimating any team, but we simply need to keep our heads up and anticipate our upcoming match. There are only 3 outcomes in football: a draw, a victory, or a defeat. Not every day is a Sunday, Banda chuckles. We must work hard and get better. She sees the World Cup as the perfect venue for building the international profile she desires for herself. I want people to know that while I'm on the pitch, Barbra Banda is playing. I want to leave my imprint and make my own name. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe for more updates.